Hello friends, welcome to Buried Truths, where the dust of time is swept away and history's deepest secrets rise to the surface. Let's view the video. For centuries, Irish warriors were forced to fight not for their own nation, but in foreign lands. Among these exiled fighters, none left a deeper mark on history than the Irish Brigade. Forged in the fires of exile and rebellion, they became kingmakers in France and Spain, changing the fate of empires. Their story begins in 1691 with the Treaty of Limerick, ending the Williamite War in Ireland. Defeated, thousands of Irish Jacobite soldiers faced a stark choice: serve a foreign crown or face persecution under English Protestant rule. Over 14,000 chose exile, departing in what became known as the Flight of the Wild Geese. These wild geese were not fleeing in fear, but flying toward a future where they could still fight for Irish Catholic causes. France, locked in rivalry with England, welcomed these seasoned warriors. King Louis XIV saw an opportunity: transform Ireland's dispossessed into elite soldiers of his own. The first Irish regiments integrated into the French army by 1692. Their loyalty, discipline, and battle experience impressed French commanders. Units like Dillon's, Berwick's, and Clare's regiments became cornerstones of France's foreign legions. The Irish Brigade had officially taken flight in a new theatre of war. Despite being far from home, their mission remained deeply Irish. Many still saw their service as a continuation of the Jacobite cause, restoring the exiled Stuart kings and undermining English power by aiding its enemies. Their swords were now extensions of political exile. Their presence soon reshaped battlefield outcomes across Europe. Though few in number, their reputation for ferocity, courage, and unit cohesion made them invaluable assets in the War of the Spanish Succession and beyond. Ireland had lost her army, but Europe had gained an elite fighting force. This was no ordinary band of mercenaries. The Irish Brigade was a brotherhood born of loss and fueled by purpose. Exile did not break them. It gave them a new banner under which to fight, and under that banner they would alter the very course of European history. When the Irish Brigade arrived in France, they weren't treated as broken men. They were valued as elite warriors. France, constantly at odds with England, saw them as a vital weapon. In the ranks of Louis XIV's armies, these Irish soldiers would carve out a reputation built on blood, bravery, and brilliance. The brigade first proved its worth in the 9 Years' War, and later the War of the Spanish Succession. In each conflict, the Irish units were deployed at the most critical fronts. French generals knew that if a battle could be turned by courage alone, the Irish would carry it. One of the most defining moments came at the Battle of Cremona, 1702. Irish troops, led by Major Daniel O'Mahony, repelled a surprise Austrian assault, saving the city. Their discipline and tenacity earned praise from the highest French command. The Wild Geese were no longer just exiles, they were champions. The brigade was made up of several regiments, each led by legendary commanders like Lord Clare, Count Dillon, and the Duke of Berwick. Their ranks were filled with Irish nobility, Catholic clergy, and skilled fighters, many driven by a shared hatred of English domination back home. What distinguished the Irish Brigade was not just their combat prowess, but their unity. They lived, trained, and fought as brothers. Though loyal to France, they carried their Irish identity with pride, singing Gaelic songs, flying Irish symbols, and holding mass in secret chapels before battle. At the Battle of Fontenoy, 1745, the Irish Brigade achieved legendary status. With cries of Cuimnig a Luimneach, remember Limerick, they charged against British forces and turned the tide of battle. Even enemies acknowledged their fearlessness. That day, Irish steel shattered British lines and British pride. Their victories earned them honours and titles, but the Irish Brigade never forgot their purpose. Each battle fought in France's name was, in their hearts, a blow struck for Ireland. Their valour didn't just serve a king. It kept the dream of a free Ireland alive in exile. The War of Spanish Succession, 1701-1714, was more than a dynastic dispute. It was a continental clash of empires. For the Irish Brigade, it became the ultimate test of loyalty, endurance, and valor. Fighting under French command, the Irish sought not just victory, but redemption for a homeland lost in exile. The conflict erupted after the death of Spain's childless king, Charles II. France supported Philip of Anjou, while England and Austria opposed him. The Irish Brigade, already seasoned from previous campaigns, found themselves deployed across Spain, Italy, and the Low Countries, fighting for Bourbon dominance and their own lasting legacy. In Italy, they helped repel imperial forces at the Battle of Cremona and defended key fortresses. But it was in Spain that their contribution proved decisive. Irish regiments fought in pivotal sieges such as Barcelona and Almansa, shaping the course of the war and tilting favor toward the Bourbon claimant. At the Battle of Almansa, 1707, Irish units under James Fitzjames, Duke of Berwick, executed a devastating charge that broke Allied lines. Their relentless assault and strategic discipline stunned the enemy. The victory was a turning point, leading to Bourbon consolidation over Spain and massive territorial gains for France's allies. Irish officers like Peter Lacy, Daniel O'Mahony, and Count Dillon gained reputations as brilliant commanders. They navigated foreign terrain and shifting alliances with tactical genius. Though far from Ireland, these men fought as if every battlefield was Limerick, and every victory a step closer to vindication. The war dragged on for over a decade, but the Irish Brigade remained fiercely active. Their sacrifices were immense. Thousands perished, never to see Ireland again. Yet they fought on, not as mercenaries, but as patriots in foreign uniform, loyal to a dream that refused to die. By war's end in 1714, the Irish Brigade had earned Europe's respect. Their courage reshaped the map of Europe and secured the Bourbon throne in Spain. But more than that, they had proven that even in exile, Irish blood could still alter the destiny of kings and empires. After the War of Spanish Succession, many Irish Brigade veterans remained in Spain. They had fought to secure the Bourbon dynasty, and now they were rewarded with lands, titles, and permanent roles in the Spanish army. But this new loyalty would be tested as Spain descended into turbulence, rebellion, and reform. Philip V of Spain, grandson of Louis XIV, recognized the Irish soldiers' valor. Several regiments, including Hibernia, Irlanda, and Ultonia, were officially absorbed into the Spanish army. Though foreign-born, these Irish troops became an elite force, trusted with guarding royal palaces, leading military campaigns, and suppressing uprisings. Throughout the 18th century, Ireland's exiled sons remained deeply entwined with Spanish political and military life. They fought in the War of Jenkins' Ear, the War of the Austrian Succession, and skirmishes across the Americas. Wherever Spain needed strength, the Irish responded, not just as soldiers, but as statesmen and strategists. But as Enlightenment, ideals and revolutions swept Europe, even loyal regiments faced internal divisions. Irish officers, once united by exile, were now split by ideology. Some remained loyal to Spain's monarchy, while others sympathized with revolutionary causes. Old loyalties clashed with new ideals of liberty and reform. During the Napoleonic Wars, the Irish regiments found themselves in chaos. Some Irish-Spanish officers, like General Kinderlan, fought Napoleon's forces to defend the Spanish crown. Others, caught between shifting powers, suffered betrayal, disbandment, or forced integration into French-controlled units, ironically fighting against the same France they once served. The Peninsular War, 1808-1814, was the final crucible. Spanish resistance and British alliance pushed out the French, but by then, the Irish units had diminished. Their glory days were fading. Yet, echoes of their sacrifice lived on in Spanish villages, royal archives, and battle honors carved in stone. Though fractured by time and revolution, the Irish Brigade in Spain left behind a legacy of valor, service, and sacrifice. From exiles to defenders of a foreign throne, they had risen with loyalty and fallen with honor. Their journey, through Spain's darkest and brightest chapters, was both tragic and extraordinary. The Irish Brigade was not just a military force, it was a legend in the making. Over the decades, their battlefield heroics gave rise to tales of incredible bravery, martyrdom, and undying loyalty. Their stories were whispered in taverns, honored, in chapels, and written into the martial folklore of Europe. One of the most famous heroes was Daniel O'Mahony, known as the Lion of Cremona. During the War of Spanish Succession, he led a daring counterattack that saved a garrison from annihilation. Wounded and bleeding, he refused to leave the field until the last man was safe, an act celebrated for generations. Then there was Count Thomond, who charged at Fontenoy with a broken sword, rallying men with cries of "Ireland forever." Though mortally wounded, he refused treatment until the battle was won. His bloodied uniform became a relic, displayed in French cathedrals as a symbol of honor and sacrifice. Another legend tells of Cornelius O'Callaghan, who, during the siege of Barcelona, carried a wounded drummer boy across enemy fire. Shot twice, he still reached safety. His courage moved both allies and enemies. An officer from the opposing side reportedly offered him safe passage and a medal for his valor. Even beyond the battlefield, Irish officers earned renown. Peter Lacy, born in County Limerick, rose to become a Russian field marshal. Though technically beyond the brigade, he was a wild goose who inspired countless Irish exiles with his journey from banished youth to imperial general. These stories weren't just propaganda. Many were recorded in French and Spanish military logs, confirmed by generals and foreign observers. While some were mythologized, their core truths endured, proving the Irish Brigade wasn't just effective, but inspiring in ways that outlived gunpowder and steel. Songs, poems, and plays were written about their deeds. The Wild Geese became a metaphor for noble sacrifice. Their legends ignited hope in Ireland and respect abroad. In exile, the Irish Brigade didn't fade into obscurity. They carved their memory into the very soul of European military history. The Irish Brigade may have faded from the battlefield, but their legacy endures like carved stone in the heart of European memory. From banished warriors to national legends, their journey reshaped not only the armies of France and Spain, but also the idea of Irish identity abroad, forging immortality through exile. The brigade's legacy is found in regimental traditions across Europe. French units preserved Irish battle honors, such as the charge at Fontenoy. Spanish military academies still recount the discipline of the Hibernia and Ultonia regiments. Their influence lingered in drills, tactics, and even the valor codes of future generations. Ireland, though under British rule for centuries, held the brigade in reverence. Ballads, poems, and folk tales kept their memory alive. Songs like The Flight of the Wild Geese and Fontenoy 1745 became part of Irish oral history, bridging the gap between historical record and cultural soul. The diaspora they symbolized became a national phenomenon. The brigade inspired Irish communities in America, Canada, and Australia. Many Irish Americans who fought in the American Civil War carried Irish Brigade flags, drawing direct inspiration from their exiled ancestors who had once fought for foreign thrones with burning loyalty. Statues and plaques across Europe honor their memory. In places like Montauban, Salamanca, and Paris, their names are etched in stone. Their motto, Semper et ubique fidelis, always and everywhere faithful, reflects the oath they never broke, even when history bent against them. Modern Irish. Military history often begins with the Irish Brigade. It is not just a tale of war, but of identity, honor, and survival. These were men who lost everything, home, country, and future, but gave everything to prove Ireland's strength through foreign service and eternal faith. In the end, they transcended exile. The Irish Brigade did not vanish into history, they became it. They carved their story into the empires they served, into the songs of the people, and into the mythos of Ireland itself. Exiled, yes. Forgotten? Never. If you're passionate about uncovering the forgotten stories of our past, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Don't forget to like the video if you're enjoying the journey so far. And stay tuned because there's so much more history waiting to be unearthed, right here on Buried Truths.